In the early hours of Saturday, January 3rd, 2026, the world awoke to a shock. Before dawn, while Caracas still slept, the silence of the capital was broken. The distant thud of explosions, the low roar of aircraft slicing through the night sky. According to announcements from Washington, a U.S. military operation was underway, swift, decisive, and extraordinary. The U.S. President Donald Trump later declared American forces has entered Venezuela and extracted President Nicolás Maduro, removing him from power and transporting him out of the country. He said the operation was tied to long-standing U.S. allegations that Maduro was involved in drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, corruption, and the use of state power to enable criminal networks. Accusation the Venezuelan government has repeatedly denied. In the same statement, President Trump went further, saying the United States would temporarily manage Venezuela's government and its vast oil resources, describing the move as necessary to stabilize the country and protect global energy security. Venezuelan officials dispute aspects of these claims, with the announcement alone sent tremors across capitals, markets, and ministries worldwide. For a nation already on edge, the moment felt unreal. History accelerated in the dark. Across Venezuela, reactions were raw and divided. In Caracas, some citizens emerged into the streets stunned and silent, glued to radios and phones, uncertain whether to celebrate, fear, or mourn. Supporters of the government denounced the operation as foreign aggression, while critics of Maduro spoke cautiously of hope, warning that change born of force carries its own risk. Military checkpoints tightened, businesses closed early, and a tense calm settled over the capital. But Venezuela's story did not begin that night. To understand how the country reached this point, we must go back more than a century. In 1914, oil was first commercially discovered in Venezuela, and in 1922, a single gushing well near Lake Maracaibo changed everything. Black gold erupted from the earth, transforming Venezuela into one of the richest nations on the planet by the mid-century. It was the crown jewel of Latin America. Prosperous royal bred dependence, and dependence bred decay. By the late 20th century, corruption, inequality, and political disillusionment had hollowed out the state. In 1999, Hugo Chavez rose to power on promises of justice and redistribution. When he died, Nicolas Maduro inherited not just the presidency, but a nation sliding toward collapse. Over the last decade, Venezuela's economy imploded. Hyperinflation erased savings, food and medicine vanished. Millions fled across borders. Sanctions tightened. Elections were disputed. The country became a flashpoint in global struggle over power, ideology, and power, and oil. World leaders reacted with alarm. Several Latin American governments called emergency meetings, warning that the events could destabilize the entire region. China and Russia condemned the move as a violation of sovereignty. European leaders urged restraint and called for international mediation. At the United Nations, diplomats spoke of a dangerous precedent, one that could reshape global norms overnight. That long crisis is what led to this moment. Today, Venezuela stands suspended between uncertainty and upheaval. Streets are tense, institutions are fractured. The world is watching closely because this is no longer just a Venezuelan story. It's a story about sovereignty and force.